What's up, everybody? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 10 of SportsCasters. We thank you for listening and hope you enjoy.
Before it slows up, before the window of opportunity closes up. I came, I saw, I conquered, I'm ball. Yeah, I came, I saw, I conquered, I'm ball. Yeah. Yo, we should get them, so I got them all. Yeah. And turn this bitch into a barrier.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 10 of SportsCasters. I'm your co-host, Michaela Evans. This podcast is brought to you by Rells Revenge, official Slim Dev Music, and SportsHouse. Today, I'm here with our founder, Chris Lyles Jr., our lovely host, Julia Santos, and our sports analyst, Matthew Anderson. And we also have two special guests today. We have our first special guest, Jalen Smith. He is a former quarterback and receiver at the Citadel. And then we have a returning guest, Cam Johnson, who is a former USC football player and current dual sports athlete at FVSU. So welcome, you guys, and we're going to dive right in. And our first topic is NBA draft reactions.
All right, so I personally thought LaMelo was gonna go one. So when Anthony Edwards went with number one, I wasn't surprised, other than the fact that he made that little comment where it was like basketball wasn't really his first love. I thought that was gonna drop him a little bit, but I felt like everybody in the first round pretty much got who they needed. Speaking from a Hornets fan, I'm happy. I am happy. I would have actually loved to get James Wiseman over LaMelo. I felt like that is somebody we may have needed more so than LaMelo. Not saying LaMelo is a bad pickup. I love LaMelo. I love what he would potentially bring to the Hornets franchise. But given that the Hornets are in desperate need of a big man, I feel like we needed somebody like James Wiseman to come in and kind of turn the franchise around from the big man perspective.
The interesting thing about the pickup with LaMelo is, like, we haven't really seen LaMelo that much. Like, we keep seeing these YouTube clips of him every now and again, but we haven't really seen him for a whole season besides when he went, like, overseas. And then there were things about how much was that involved with Big Baller Brand. But it definitely was a box office pickup. Like, as soon as he got picked up, I think all over Twitter, everybody was saying how we can't wait to buy tickets and stuff like that. And I think hopefully I know Michael is the owner. Michael Jordan's the owner. But hopefully he'll challenge him a little bit so he get the best out of him. But like I said, he'll definitely put fans in the seats.
I think the draft was decent. I was kind of disappointed in some of the people who didn't get picked. Like Miles Powell didn't get picked, Marcus Howard. I just don't understand how you can be a first-team All-American and enter the draft and you don't get picked. That was weird to me. Some point guards didn't get picked that I thought should have Ashton Hagens, Devon Dotson, like just some people who I thought might have had a chance to get picked didn't get picked.
Why do you think that, though?
I thought that I feel like the draft nowadays got a lot to do with more of looking at people who got a lot of upside and a lot of potential for the future versus what they actually do while they're in college. And I mean, I understand, but at the same time, to me, I mean, when you watch what these dudes do at the college level and they kill, I mean, I feel like they should have a shot at the league, and they should – not saying they're not getting a shot because they signed someone, but I just feel like they should get drafted. Like, I mean, they proved what they needed to prove at the collegiate level like that. So I feel like they should have a chance at getting drafted. But I think a lot of they got to do with who got the most upside and things like that. So
I feel like what shocked me the most was Isaac Okoro going 5th to Chicago. I didn't really see him going that early. I probably saw him, second round, maybe mid-second round going, but
I was surprised Obi. How do you say his last name? Is it Toppin? I was surprised he went as low as he did. I actually saw him as like a top 5 kind of player. I think he went what was it 6 or 7, 8?
Yeah, he went 8th.
So I saw him as a top 5 pick, only because I saw him as one of those guys where, you know, watching him for a little bit while he was in college, just the dynamic of how he played. That's a very athletic dude. And given the way the NBA is going, you know, athleticism is like, if you got athleticism, that'll translate well into your game. We actually just have Sterling Harris just popping on, so he's popping on right now. So give him a moment because I know he really wanted to talk about, just the draft reaction. So Sterling, what's up, man? So, we are actually diving into this dude is funny. We are actually diving into the draft reactions. So I know you really wanted to talk about that. So, kind of give your take on that.
Oh, I must say, the Atlanta Hawks, my gosh, aren't they going to make the playoffs next year? It was a pretty easy pick for them, in my opinion. You take on Yucca there. You already got Capella. You could probably move him for some parts. But Trae Young, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, Yucca, running the floor with those guys. I love the Hawks move. And we've been keeping tabs on Rajon Rondo. He might mess around and end up in Atlanta. So I think Atlanta made the easiest, best move they could have made. And I think that's going to have the most impact just because I feel like they will make the playoffs for the first time in a minute next year with that move. So
you just said Rondo going to the Hawks. You don't think he'll re-sign with LA?
Nah, not at all. Easier to go into the Hawks, or he's going to, take a minimum for the Clippers. But I've heard that the Hawks are prepared to offer him a pretty large contract so he can mentor Trae and get those boys on the winning track. So I think he'll be in Atlanta.
Wait, so you think the Lakers would want him back? They're just not going to give him the money?
Nah, because I think they're working on another trade. We heard them talk about DeRozan, possibly trade for DeRozan, or you see them giving up a lot of cap space to maybe even go get, mess around and try to grab Bradley Beal out of the air. So we don't know what they're doing, but they're letting a lot of people go and freeing up space so they can make a move. So
that's funny you mentioned Bradley Beal only because I just saw some news where they're actually looking to build around Bradley Beal. So they're actually looking to kick John Wall to the curb, but they're actually looking to keep Bradley Beal and build around him instead of John Wall. I think there was some speculation about him with the whole gang signs and doing that, this and that, and third. In the black community, that's nothing. So we just see that as like, okay, whatever. But to, the organization, they look at it like, okay, what is this? But me personally, when I saw him, I knew what he threw up. But when I forgot what the play was for him to throw it up. And everybody was like, he repping, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, that's nothing new to us.
You've been doing that in games.
Exactly. So it's crazy. It's like
that in games.
Why everybody so uptight about it now? This man threw it up with, almost, 20, 30,000 people in the arena. And here it is. He threw it up on, what was it? I think it was like New York. He was chilling with his boys. And he threw it up and it was all over social media. Now everybody got a problem with it. But hey,
that's how DeRozan be doing that. DeRozan be throwing up this set too, and Harden. Like they all do it, so I don't know what the problem was, honestly.
I think it also too is like just with John Wall. I think a lot of it is him being just the type of player he is from a personality standpoint. They can tolerate Bradley Beal. They ain't gonna be able to tolerate John Wall. I think there's a lot of stuff too that may have happened behind the scenes. So that's kind of like leading up to the draft because. I forgot who they picked up. I don't know if it was a guard or it was a forward. I forgot. I don't remember who they picked up. But nonetheless, it was just
a project.
Exactly. So my thing is like, I see them building around Bradley Beal mostly. So
y'all think they're gonna be able to? Somebody's gonna pick up that big behind contract John Wall got?
Oh shit!
I saw those rumors about Houston maybe trading Westbrook for John Wall. I don't know why that would make any sense, but. I did see rumors about that maybe happening. And I think the whole Beal thing, the only reason I brought that up is because Beal at any time can kind of, leave town whenever he feels like they're not trying to win, I think, because he does have that much leverage. And in terms of organization, if he was to say, all right, I want to get out, well, they're going to get as many things as they want for him. So it would be a win-win on both sides if he decided to say, I'm out, trade me. So.
All right, y'all, we're going to switch over to the next topic, which is the NFL. So right now, as the weeks are going along, who would y'all say are y'all best wide receivers for the league?
Go ahead, Matt.
I was really rocking with Julio before the year, but statistically it doesn't make sense. I'm just not as big of a fan right now. I think DeAndre, and I'm not just saying that because of the big catch, but I will say DK Metcalf is coming on really a lot for me really quickly. It just seems like he's one of those receivers that nobody really wants to face. He's right now third in receiving yards with 816 yards. Ironically enough, Stephon Diggs actually leads the receivers right now with 906. and next up is DeAndre Hopkins. So I'll give it to DeAndre as my number one, but DK is definitely up and coming.
Okay. I'm gonna always stick with my dude D-Hop. I mean, I've always brought up the argument with if you ever have an entire season when you do not drop a single catch, I don't care who you are, until somebody meets that requirement or exceeds it to where they have maybe a season and a half or 2 seasons where they don't drop a ball, D-Hop is gonna always be number one to me. Granted, yes, he is from Clemson, and yes, USC alum. I got past that. Nonetheless, I feel like just off of the season that he's having right now, given he is a number one option in some respect on his team in terms of receiving. Yeah, you got Larry Fitz, but Larry Fitz is really in games just for blocking perspective. So going off of, since you brought up stats, D-Hop already played 9 games, 67 receptions, 88 targets, not bad, 861 yards, and now have 4 touchdowns. I wish he had a little bit more touchdowns. I think that's just the way that the dynamic of their offense is played. Kyler Murray, yes, he's starting to throw the ball more, but he still is a mobile quarterback. So he's going to do more so of, running plays, this, that, and the third. But nonetheless, I'm still going with D-Hop. That's still my number one. And also, he just made the news today for all the gaming people out there. He just hit 99 overall on Madden 21. So that's, lit right there. But nonetheless, yeah, I'm going with D-Hop. So, but there also was news about, Devontae Adams and Julio saying they were the best in the league. No disrespect to them. Yes, Devontae Adams does lead the league in receiving for touchdowns.
Yeah, he got 9. Meanwhile, DK only has 8.
Exactly. So
wait. Yeah, you're right.
So I mean, it is what it is, but I'm still going with D-Hop. If any of you other fellas want to comment on y'all pick.
I disagree. I got D-Hop too. So
I'm going to say it's definitely D-Hop.
Thank you. So
I feel like Devontae Adams told me this year too, though.
He top 3.
Yeah.
I can't give I want to. Don't get me wrong. Devontae Adams definitely top 5 right now.
Mm-hmm.
He just got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, and not saying Kyler Murray is a bad quarterback, but Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray.
How about that? You seen Kyler Murray play the last couple of weeks?
I understand
that boy
that.
Working right now.
I understand that. But he still has Aaron Rodgers. Like that when you think of Aaron Rodgers, you think of, Russell Wilson, in some cases Tom Brady. You don't think of Kyler Murray. So not saying Kyler Murray is bad, not saying he's not on the come up, but I'm still giving D-Hop his props.
Hey, another one to look out for is Scary Terry coming out of Ohio State, his second year. He's at Washington right now. He is right after DK Metcalf with 787 yards, averaging 13.8 yards a catch. And his quarterback is Kyle Allen, so he's approaching really quickly. He's a smaller receiver. If I'm not mistaken, he's
right now.
Ohio State. What'd you say?
I said it's Alex Smith right now. But,
yeah, Alex Smith now, yeah. But it was Kyle.
Yeah, but bump all of that. The best receiver is still Julio Jones. I don't know who decided that Julio Jones still ain't the best receiver in the league. The man's only played in 7 games this year. He has 30 less targets than D-Hop has for the whole season. And he's only about 200 yards off of him, right now. I mean, Julio Jones is still look, come to me about D-Hop when he's getting double teamed at the line of scrimmage. All right. That's the thing. Julio Jones, 6'5", can run a 4.3, 4.4 whenever he wants to, can make any catch available to him. If the ball is somewhere in his vicinity, he can make that catch. He makes catches that D-Hop can't make, Diggs can't make, Thomas can't make, Adams can't make. There's a lot of things Julio Jones. This man can run a dang corner route outside of the numbers to the hash. How do you get beta cornerback to go inside? That's only one of the places you can go. Julio Jones is still the best receiver in the league. I don't think nobody can stop him when healthy. He's still, up there in terms of yards, even though he only played 7 games. Still the best. Nobody's better.
Let me ask you, if D-Hop was granted D-Hop 6'2", 6'3", so he's not far off. But granted, if you give D-Hop an extra 15 pounds and you give him an extra 2 inches, you still gonna say Julio Jones is better? Because everything you said is basically built off athleticism, and I think that's based off the players. Granted, you have it. Granted, you don't. I mean, Stephon Diggs is not the most athletic player, but you see he leads the league statistically. I mean, him and D-Hop are kind of in the same category as far as players. Now, Stephon, I think, probably has a quicker half step than D-Hop does, but nonetheless, I feel like, I mean, yes, Julio is a hard matchup to guard, so that's not taking anything away from him. And not saying if we're going off of the catch that D-Hop had, that Julio could probably make that catch. My thing is, I feel like Julio is one of those guys where his athleticism is really what gets him farther than most of what his, I guess, just the God-given ability of being able to catch the ball. I feel like his separation, his size is really what makes him better than most players. Given D-Hop, I mean, you give him the ball, he's going to catch it, regardless of not. I mean, yes, Julio, you give it to him, he's gonna catch it, but it's a different dynamic between Julio and D-Hop. So I'm trying to figure out other than your athleticism, what can you really say the difference between D-Hop and Julio?
Is there a route on a route tree that that Julio can't run? Yes or no? Is there a route in the route tree that Julio can't run? Is there a catch that Julio can't make? Are there people that Julio can't run from, as in safeties and cornerbacks? Julio up to this point, even in down years, has not shown me that he has taken a step back as a player, per se, as in terms of just having opportunities. Because you got to remember, he got another dog right next to him, and Calvin Ridley on the other side of the field. So that's if you want to talk about stats, that's half the problem, even though it's not really a problem for him because, finally the attention is not solely on him. But he has another dude in Calvin Ridley across the field from him. Julio Jones, to me, as a player, is still the best receiver in the league. Like, if there was a GM, they said, who do you want if you could pick any receiver in the league right now to be on your team? It'd still be Julio.
Nah.
It'd still be Julio.
Nah. You got to think about it,
running away from people the way Julio run away from people.
That's built off of athleticism, though. That's something that
that's what makes him good, though.
Right, but at the same time, the ability to catch the ball is what makes D-Hop so well. So it's like, I feel like as of right now, how old is Julio? And he creeping.
There's not a catch that D-Hop has made that Julio could not or has not already made.
So to reverse that, is there a catch that Julio has made that D-Hop can't make?
Yes, the one against the Patriots. There ain't nobody on earth making that catch except Julio.
6'5".
Yeah, what? Thank you. Can't nobody else do it. Only Julio can do it.
D-Hop can't make the catch though, bro. But he had everything to do it. It ain't because D-Hop can't. It's just because Julio is just 6'5", bro. Like,
you just said it, but look, what other six? There's plenty of 6'5" people
he would
walking
make
around.
the same catch. Is my thing.
But he not though. There's plenty of 6'5" people walking around playing tight end that can't make that catch.
So
Tom Pitts making that catch.
Okay, so
I don't think Brock can make that catch.
You're comparing, yes, height-wise, yes. However, the speed is not the same in terms of tight ends to Julio. Julio is twice as fast than all the tight ends. Actually, all the tight ends in the league. So it's going back to athleticism. You take that away, who is Julio?
Still a darn good receiver. He can still make every catch. He's still a great route runner. He's still a great route runner. We have to Julio can't run routes or something. Julio's a great route runner. If his speed left him today, him technically is still one of the best route runners in the league, which will keep him there and still at a high pedestal. So
you're saying that D-Hop is not a good route runner is what I'm getting at.
No, he is, but you keep saying strip away Julio's athleticism. What is he? He's a big target, great route running dude that can still create separation and make any catch when the ball's in its vicinity. He's still a great receiver in the league. If you take away the 4.3 and give him a 4.6, he can still do all those things.
So my thing is what I'm saying is I put it like this. And this is, I mean, look, when this airs out, people can say what they want to say. If you take away Julio's athleticism and his speed, given off of your argument, he is still a little bit lower than D-Hop. Because at the end of the day, not at the same level, other than height-wise. I mean, granted, height is your height. You can't change your height. So, yes, he is now 6'5", running the same thing as D-Hop. maybe a step slower than D-Hop if you're taking away his speed and his athleticism. But nonetheless, you're giving – I'll put it like this. If when in doubt, how many times I throw the ball to the receiver, I can depend on D-Hop making the catch more than Julio. Just because of going off of a season where I don't think Deshaun had got there yet. When that season where he caught the ball.
Oh, he was there. He was there.
He was there? Okay, so granted, but Deshaun hasn't came into himself yet. So given when you throw the ball to a receiver, and every time you throw the ball to them, they do not drop the ball. That is the name of the game as a receiver. I mean, yes, you have route running, separation. You know, you have the high point of how high you jump when you catch the ball. I mean, all those things play into it. When in doubt, if I throw the ball to you and you catching it without any drops, dog, I mean, you have solidified yourself into a whole nother category of receivers. So,
I mean, there's running backs that catch 5 screen passes a year and don't drop the ball. I mean, I'm just saying.
Not the same thing, bro.
I'm just saying based off of who's gone the whole year without dropping the pass. I mean, Lord, I could probably see if Rex Burkhead hasn't dropped the pass in the year catching screen passes this year for the Patriots. But still, there's not a route Julio can't run still that I've seen with my eyes. There's not a catch Julio can't make. He's still probably the third fastest if you go, DK and Hill, the third fastest, or I guess fourth maybe because Terry, fastest receiver in the league, still the biggest guy, still the biggest target. I ain't gonna take away his 6'5", frame and everything just to compare it to another dude. He's just better than him. He's 6'5". Usually you think, oh, he that big, he shouldn't even be able to do stuff he's able to do. He shouldn't be able to. Julio shouldn't be 6'5", breaking down 5'11", 6-foot corners. That's 6'5".
He's 6'5".
That's not normal.
He's 6'5". Yes, he's big, but he's not DK big. That is a whole different specimen. Like, DK is like a different kind of big. Like, when I look at DK and Julio, yes, they might be roughly the same height, but DK is way bigger. Like, DK is literally a tight end running like a running back. Like, Julio, yes, is a receiver running like a receiver. That's the difference maker. Like, when I look at Julio, I'm looking at a –
Wait, so you trying to say DK better than Julio?
No. I'm talking about size-wise. I'm trying to switch my words up.
I'm making sure. I hope you're saying that
size-wise, he's bigger than Julio. So, as far as weight and weight-wise, yes, he's bigger than Julio. So, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, Julio looks different when running because he's bigger. He looks like a receiver. Now, yes, you have smaller receivers, but at the same time, when you look at Julio, it's like, okay, he looks normal. When I look at him, when I look at DK, that's a whole different dude. Like, I don't know who that dude is. He's not from Earth. So, yeah.
All right. If it's 0, say the best.
Switch it up. A lot of opinions on that one. I love it. Okay, so now we're going to switch over to the NBA, who we think the best in the league when they're healthy.
Go on, LeBron.
Thank you.
Anybody opposing thoughts?
Go ahead, Sterling.
I hope somebody else opposes. Y'all sure? Y'all got nothing to say?
I'm going with LeBron.
Oh God. Okay.
With all he I'm happy for him. I'll go with LeBron for this one.
LeBron is my guy, but we gotta keep it real. Kevin Durant, when healthy, is a dangerous guy.
No.
He is a dangerous guy. He is a dangerous guy.
Oh, no.
Okay, since you the special guest, I'm gonna let you go first on your take on that. Why do you say that?
I mean, it's just like you gotta check the stats. Like, it's just he scores at will. Like, he can shoot over you. He's going over you. He can do whatever you want to do. And he's pretty much almost to like what? He's what, 6'11"?
7
I'm at
feet.
7 foot.
7 feet. Come on now.
Go ahead, Sterling.
I mean, look, I've said it plenty of times. The only man that can stop Kevin Durant from scoring is Kevin Durant when he doesn't shoot the basketball. That is it. That's the only person that can stop him from scoring the ball. All right. And we want to talk about LeBron and KD. 2018 finals, LeBron, Kyrie was in Boston, whatever. But the 2017 finals, when he still had Kyrie, he still had Caleb, he still had JR, Durant got him about a day at 5. All right. And you can look at, he was in Golden State, but who was the sole reason why Golden State was held to that standard? Because Kevin Durant was on the team. He won 2 final MVPs against LeBron. The last time LeBron beat KD in the finals was when KD was like 22 years old. All right. So I'm looking at it from a health standpoint. I'm just like, KD is fully healthy on the court. LeBron ain't doing nothing to him. I'm sorry. LeBron is not holding KD.
Can I please?
Go ahead.
Okay, I need to know. Kevin Durant does nothing better than LeBron but shoot the basketball. Or handle the basketball. Handle and shoot the basketball. That's it. I don't understand
defense.
I don't understand, bro. He's not a better defender than LeBron, bro. You got.
I don't know. Go back and check.
And going back to the finals, I understand Kevin Durant won 2 finals MVPs, right? But I feel like a lot of people taking away. I mean, I'm not saying I'm supporting the L, but a lot of people taking away the fact that it's not like LeBron just folded in 17 and 18 finals. Like, the same way y'all said KD was killing LeBron, nobody is quick to say what LeBron was doing back to Golden State. And don't get me wrong, like, I mean, the NBA is a business, but Kevin Durant went to Golden State. He got 2 rings on LeBron. I mean, it was loaded. It would have been a shame if they didn't win, in my opinion. I mean, they had 3, potentially 4 Hall of Famers on the team.
Good point.
I mean, especially in 2018, I mean, the Cavs win game 1. I feel like the series is totally different. I feel like this would be a whole different conversation right now. They win game 1, but LeBron lit this same team up for 51. He lit KD up for 51. I don't understand. I just don't understand where this came from that Kevin Durant was better than LeBron James. Because to me, he does nothing better except for 2 things in the game of basketball. So that's just my personal opinion. I don't understand.
So if we're going off of scoring, okay, yes, Kevin Durant is better. We're going off of how he handled the ball, how he crossovers, in and out, spin moves, behind the back. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, Kevin Durant does that better. But that is literally one aspect of basketball. Going off of Cam's point, you have to look at the whole entirety of the game of basketball. So can I depend on Kevin Durant to make a smart playmaking decision? Can I depend on LeBron to make a smart playmaking decision? Most definitely. Can I depend on LeBron to be a more consistent defender than Kevin Durant? Yes. When I watch Kevin Durant, you have to watch how Kevin Durant is. Kevin Durant is one of those guys where he will literally stand at the other end of the court and cherry pick the entire time. Literally. That's how he is. Yes. He does not play transition D at all. No. Now, given LeBron's age, let's be honest, yes, he's old. Yes, he takes care of his body, of course. But given his age, yes, LeBron may do some of those things too. But given the entirety of LeBron's career, yes, LeBron was a better transition defender. Is a better transition defender than Kevin Durant. By far, yes. I'm not depending on Kevin Durant to do some of the intangibles of what it takes to will a team to win. Is he going to drop 50? Yeah, that's great. But is he going to will a team to win? No, not at all. If he did, he would have did with OKC. All I'm saying is you was down 3-1, and here it is, you joined the team that beat you. I'm not saying that's a sucker move, but it's relative. It depends on who you talk to. My thing is people try to say, oh, LeBron did the same thing. No, he didn't. He didn't go to a team that beat him. He just went to his homeboy, and his homeboy attracted another dude, and then that's how they started. That's literally how you look at it. Kevin Durant literally said, okay, we ain't going to do it here. I done been here for, how long Kevin Durant been with OKC before he left? What was that, 6-7 years? And then he just
10,
left.
I think.
10? Oh, that even makes my argument even better.
Or was it 9? No, it might have been 7.
It was less than 10.
It might have
He
been
didn't get drafted in 07 or 08, so.
It was
Either way, it makes my argument a whole lot better. So my thing is like, I don't look at Kevin Durant as better because I look at the whole entirety of the game and not just scoring. Now, if we want to go off scoring, of course, yeah, Kevin Durant is unstoppable. So
when you talk about scoring, though, because he's a better shooter than LeBron James.
Yeah.
Wait, don't tell me you're about to sit here and say LeBron James is a better scorer than Kevin Durant.
I'm saying LeBron is just as good. LeBron is just as good of a scorer as Kevin Durant is. Kevin Durant is a better shooter. But when they're both going to the basket, Who's the better scorer when they're both going to the basket? Let's be
The
realistic.
dude that has a 7'6" wingspan.
So Kevin Durant,
More than that.
Kevin Durant can go over you. LeBron will go through you. That's the difference between the two.
Really? Because he the one doing all the spin moves. Last time I checked, every time LeBron dropped to the basket is a spin move. But to get on you about this willing his team to victory. Did you watch the 2019 finals when the Toronto Raptors had Golden State down 3-1 and Kevin Durant playing with basically probably a torn Achilles, if we're being honest, already, said, I'm going to go out here at 50% maybe, drop like 14 in the first quarter, and then Golden State ended up winning that game after he tore his Achilles. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he will have seen the victory on that front. Two, if you talking about on-ball defense, what on-ball defense award has LeBron ever won in his career? Has he been first team all defense or something? Is there this big gap
Been
on
snubbed
ball?
out of an award.
On ball, well, he ain't got it, so I mean, I can't say. Look, he ain't got the award. It ain't on me. But look, is there really that big of a gap defensively between the two on ball? I don't know. You watch KD those last 2 years in Golden State, he improved tremendously defensively. I think he led the team in shot blocking. His on-ball defense became really good because he learned how to slide his feet and got better and wanted to play defense. So LeBron, who usually uses the whole season to, say, Dellavedova, go pick him up all game. I ain't doing that today. Or who else? Rondo, you go get him. Or whoever else was the defensive dog of that team. LeBron went in and did that. So I want to hear LeBron's this, ultra great on-ball defender, and he's going to take – nah. He'll play great help defense. I'll give LeBron. He'll play great help defense. He'll chase somebody down. But we're talking about on-ball defense. I'll give the nod to Kevin Durant a little bit on-ball defense just because, look at the dude. He's freaking 7 feet tall and with a 7'6" wingspan. And he actually slides his feet a little better than LeBron laterally. So on-ball defense and that stuff, nah. And I'm not going to get into it about who's a better scorer. Good Lord. Kevin Durant's a 4-level scorer, okay? He's a 4-level scorer. Ain't nobody scoring the way KD. I don't hear nothing about LeBron scoring with KD.
Break down the 4-level score for the listeners.
All right, so you got your 2-point, you got your 3-point, you got your deep range, you got your free throw line. We know LeBron don't want to touch that free throw line. Let's just be clear. He don't want to touch that free throw line. so no, I'm not hearing KD is not that LeBron's a better scorer than KD. No.
Okay, so going off of your first point of willing your team to win, you literally brought up one time Kevin Durant, quote unquote,
It happened.
One time. LeBron has done that for the entirety of his career, has willed his team to a victory in some form of fashion, whether they lost and he dropped 50, tried. Granted.
Okay, KD hasn't done that millions of times?
One time. You brought up one time,
you saying KD hasn't dropped 40-plus in a game and they lost the game? Is that counting as willing your team to victory?
But you brought up that one time. My thing is, why haven't you done this when you were with a pretty solid team with OKC? LeBron has done that with a subpar team with the Cavs, going up against Greg Popovich, I forgot, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker.
He willed his team to a win in a sweep and getting swept?
Who did he have on his team?
You just saying he willed his team to a win. He could have got one game, couldn't he?
That's not what I mean. I'm talking about through the playoffs. He was not going to win that. However, he led his team to a finals. My thing is OKC is a better team than the Cavs were by far. Because at the end of the day, yes, James Harden is not who he is today, but he was decent. Russell Westbrook is not who he is today.
Young.
LeBron was young. What you expect?
I'm saying, but he had veterans around him. KD was playing with
kids like him. I can't get with that.
We do know
KD
was
talking about
going to the finals. You talking about him going to the finals, right? KD had guys that were his age with him. LeBron had veterans surrounding him to help him get to that point. Was he not a veteran? Was he a rookie?
Okay, so if you put Kevin Durant on the 07 Cavs, do they make the finals?
No.
In that Eastern Conference, maybe. In that East. Remember, this is the year after Dwayne Wade took a 4 seed. Dwayne Wade took the 4th or 5th seed Miami Heat to the finals and won it. That's the East we're talking about at the time period. This is before the Big Three in Boston formed, so this ain't the same gauntlet of teams he had to run through, all right? And then you talking about KD and when did he do this with the OKC Thunder? Remember the year KD won MVP? Do y'all remember that year, 2015?
Yeah.
It's
And which
insane.
building? And which building specifically? It was a Sunday afternoon prime time game. Which building did he go in without his crime partner Russell Westbrook and say, "I have arrived, and I'm gonna show up on this stage and drop 30 on you"? Who do y'all remember the team he played against? No.
I'm assuming it's
It happened to be the Miami Heat, by the way, and
Oh.
LeBron James. All right, Russell Westbrook was hurt. KD walked in there, dropped 30, won MVP, walking out. All right, that's what KD did in OKC. You wouldn't know how he willed his team to victories. Even the playoffs, we talking about when Westbrook got, Beverly kind of screwed Westbrook over with the whole knee injury and everything. In players like that, KD showed his show up. The show out says we're talking about moral victories in terms of who did his part. So I don't know about the whole KD ain't doing nothing, without people.
So
I
Jalen,
think what the point is, though, is it's like from a leadership aspect, they don't feel like he could have willed the team to a victory. Like captain-wise, playing, like getting the best out of his teammates and taking them to they don't think that KD could have done the same thing LeBron did.
exactly. So Jalen, going off of Cam's question, because you said KD, do you think KD could have willed the 07 Cavs team to the finals?
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're talking about right now, though, right? Who's the best player right now?
Actually, the question was best in the league.
Okay, so right now,
KD in his prime right now couldn't have did it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
No, I don't. It doesn't matter. I don't think so. That's just me. My thing is,
okay.
In 2016, to me, the difference between LeBron and KD is I don't think LeBron was going to be up 3-1 and not win it to go to the finals. I don't understand how they let that. And I'm not saying it was all on KD because Westbrook wasn't as good as he needed to be either, but Kevin Durant definitely was not as good as he needed to be to close out the series.
No, he wasn't.
But that's just my opinion.
He wasn't then.
And I don't like the whole one time against people because I don't like the whole just the 11 finals against LeBron. I like to talk about everything. So I don't try to hold that one time against Kevin Durant. But for the sake of this conversation, I just feel like what's the reason? I just feel like he should have got the job done in that particular situation. And he didn't.
I think he should have too. I think he should have too.
Let's take away score from both players. Who's better?
We're not doing that. It's who's the best player right now. You have to score the basketball.
But your argument was
you have to score
though.
the basketball to win a game. You can't win a game 0-0. You can't win a game without scoring.
Your argument was scoring.
I said he was a better scorer. He's a better ball handler. He's a better defender. I said all those things. I think he's more clutch. If I had a shot, I'm giving KD the shot.
Okay, going back.
We can't take scoring away from basketball. Like you have a defensive unit in football that can go in and score for you. We can't just take that out the equation.
So let's go back to.
Like you're saying, if Alex Ovechkin didn't shoot a hockey puck, was he good? Like what?
So let's go back to that because I meant to touch base on that. I definitely said transition defense. I didn't say on-ball defense because I feel like they're different defenders. So going back to the help defense, yeah, I would agree with that. But in terms of transition defense, no. I don't see KD running down, blocking shots like LeBron does consistently. He maybe done it maybe 5-6 times in retrospect, but consistently, no. I don't see KD doing that. I see LeBron at his 35 years of age, even before then, literally running down. Granted, the way he runs is pretty funny, but running down and blocking shots, whether it's off the backboard, whether it's just spiking it down like he's playing volleyball. Bruh is a different athlete. And I think the whole part of it, too, is going back to willing your team to a victory. It's not about willing them to a per se win, but the depth of how you lead them to a win. So my thing is, I feel like LeBron consistently will will his team to a finals. And now that I think about it, is there not has ever since LeBron has been in the league, hasn't he not missed? Has he missed the finals? Was it once? And that was when he was hurt.
Since he's went on a run since he was in Miami.
So yeah.
But who's to say Kevin Durant doesn't get on the same streak when he comes back this year?
Well, that's the thing. Kevin Durant's actually getting older. I didn't realize how old Kevin Durant was. Kevin Durant is now creeping up on 29. And not saying like he won't last long in the league, but normally players who are taller and have longer limbs from a health perspective, they don't last that long. I mean, they don't last.
They can't shoot the basketball.
True. But you still got to run. This is still a running league.
Kevin Durant can walk his behind down to the elbow, say, "Hey, pass me the rock," and do that.
His career be longer than most of his size.
And drop a 30.
All right, y'all. I'm going to have to wrap this up. We could talk about this at a later time, maybe a next episode or something like that. But first, I just want to thank Matt, Sterling, Chris, and Michaela for coming on, obviously, as always. Jalen and Cameron, thank you guys for being our special guests, hopping on and talking with us. SportsCasters is sponsored by Matt's SportsHouse, Rells Revenge, and the Official Deaf Music. Thank you guys for hopping on our season finale, and I hope to see you guys season 3.
This podcast is brought to you by Rells Revenge, Official Slim Dev Music, and Matt's SportsHouse. Thank you for tuning in to our final episode of Season 2. See you soon.